Now to this story. Authorities in Arizona say all family members of Nancy Guthrie have been cleared as suspects in her disappearance. The mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie has been missing since February 1st. Investigators have also deployed a high-tech tracking device in the hopes of detecting possible signals from Guthrie's pacemaker. We jump now to Jonathan Vigliotti, who continues his reporting in the search for Nancy Guthrie from Tucson, Arizona. Jonathan, good morning to you. What is the latest on all of this?
Yeah, and Errol, good morning to you. The sheriff yesterday making it clear that the entire Guthrie family is innocent, suggesting that to say otherwise, as he put it, would be wrong and simply cruel. As we now enter day 17 of this search, investigators focus on several pieces of key evidence, including purchase receipts from clothing and gear, and DNA that could potentially lead to a suspect.
As the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, the Pima County Sheriff for the first time is officially ruling out any of the Guthrie family members, including siblings and spouses, as possible suspects and calling them victims, plain and simple. Meanwhile, the FBI says it is analyzing male DNA found on a glove recovered nearly 2 miles from Guthrie's home, hoping to match it to an unknown DNA profile found inside the residence. Forensic DNA expert Susanna Ryan says it's possible, even with gloves on, to get valuable evidence at the crime scene.
If you touch your face, if you touch your body with gloves on, you've just loaded those gloves with your DNA.
Investigators are also using a device known as a signal sniffer, which is mounted on a low-flying helicopter to try to detect transmissions from Guthrie's pacemaker. The Pima County Sheriff tells CBS News one of the most promising leads may be the suspect's gear. The sheriff confirms investigators are reviewing surveillance video from Walmart, which has provided records of every Ozark Trail hiker backpack purchased online and in stores over the past several months. He also believes the clothing, including the suspect's face mask, came from the same retailer and possibly the same store.
We're talking about DNA, but this ultimately could boil down to something as simple as who bought this backpack.
Absolutely, and that's what we've seen on a lot of crimes that we've solved.
And the sheriff also confirms that records received by Walmart also include names dating back possibly several months. They've received more than 50,000 tips over the past 17 days as the FBI continues to call on the public for help, Errol.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Herman Weisberg joins us now. He's the managing director at Sage Intelligence Group and a former detective with the New York Police Department. Herman, good morning. Thanks for being with us. First, I want to get your take on why you think the Pima County Sheriff wanted to specifically clear the Guthrie family's name, and if that sticks out as unusual now that we're 17 days into this.
Everything's unusual in this case, Errol. And I think whatever gets this family through this hell that they're going through, I'm supportive of that. There's a lot of noise going on, and the family needs to stick together and try to get through this.
What do you make of the timeline as far as we know it now and this deployment of a signal sniffer and other high-tech tools 17 days in? I wonder if you sense that some of that is a bit late.
We're all seeing, as now armchair detectives, evidence takes time to present itself in cases, and it's frustrating and it's tedious work. But, for example, police departments are all very much scrutinizing any of their stolen cars in the days leading up to this event. Now is the time where these cars, a car may be recovered, an abandoned stolen car somewhere that could lead to another piece of information. It's not instantaneous. Evidence really takes a couple of days, weeks, sometimes to come to fruition, and that's what we're seeing here. And me as a detective, everybody's just got to keep their nose down and doing, and working parallel lines to a successful outcome in this case.
We heard our reporter Jonathan note that some 50,000 tips have been sent in. I wonder if the high-profile nature of this case and President Trump calling for the death penalty for whoever is involved complicates things for investigators who are trying to follow strong leads.
Definitely. As far as those tip lines, I've experienced this. You've got to weed through a bunch of conspiracy theories. I mean, people mean well in this, But we have to remember that you're taking up the time of an investigator to make a suggestion from an investigative standpoint that is probably already being addressed. Everybody in law enforcement's working on this. Everyone's being vigilant, and I think any kind of firsthand information that could be, given to these tip lines is important, but you have to also take a step back and make sure you're not wasting the time of the people scrutinizing those tips.
Yeah, very illustrative to hear you say everything is unusual in this case based on your views. Herman Weisberg, thanks for being with us this morning.